Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is African Americans and health, African-American and health well-being. And we have with us to talk about the health and well-being of African-American males, Dr. Sanford from Tennessee State University. And of course, Dr. Sanford, let me welcome you to the show this morning and to again say that you are not new to our audience. You've been with us on a number of occasions, yes. But still there might be some who might not know you.
Yes.
And so for the next few minutes, let's see if you can give them some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were influential in eventually leading you to Tennessee State University and in dealing with the topic that you're dealing with, the health and well-being of African-American adolescents. Let's
yes.
do it from that perspective.
Absolutely, and I want to thank you very much for the show and all the work that you've been doing. Again, I'm EKSanford1. I'm associate professor at Tennessee State University. I did my prior education with a postdoc degree at the Pennsylvania State University in State College, Pennsylvania. My PhD I received from Howard University in Washington, D.C. There I actually worked as the assistant director at the United States Department of Health and Human Services and the American Red Cross on doing HIV/AIDS education research. I also worked there in their court doing evaluation research as well. I did my undergraduate work at North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina, and I'm originally from Oxford, North Carolina. Now, my particular interest in doing my doctorate degree was in looking at the homeless elderly, but since that time I've also had specialty areas in my postdoc on looking at health issues and medical sociology. That has led me to looking at a very pervasive problem that is occurring throughout the United States and in many instances other parts of the world on obesity and overweight issues leading to chronic illnesses. And so I've been doing some research in that particular area for the last number of years, along with some other colleagues at Tennessee State University and collaborating with others at other universities.
And so when we talk about health and well-being of African-American males,
yeah.
we have identified a specific group that you'd like to
yes.
concentrate on today,
yes.
indicating that this is not only a problem that is that concerns African-American males, it concerns a large proportion of Americans, whatever group they might be in, but you have specialized in reference to that, and I think that that is the kind of information that we're looking for today, dealing with the health and well-being of African-American males.
Absolutely.
What, Dr. Sanford, would you say is the status of health and well-being for African-American males in the United States of America?
Yeah, well, it's quite poor at this point, and I would like to specify right at the outset that the United States right now spends at least $270 billion to $200 billion a year in reference to health care related to overweight and obesity issues, symptoms leading to high blood pressure, hypertension, chronic illnesses such as heart attacks, diabetes, even being overweight that disproportionately impacts the joints areas of the body as well. So when we see that this is a major national problem, then when you horn it in on to looking at the state of Tennessee, we are third in the nation in overweight and obesity. And then when you pull it down to looking at specific ethnic groups, you find that the African American particular group is that of disproportionate within this particular problem as well. And one of my research interests, since I've been doing this over the last few years, has been looking at different groups from, say, adolescents to young adults to old age, and has specifically been honing in on, say, African-American adolescents from the ages of, say, 18 going into undergraduate school until they finish, and also looking at the males as well. What we have found is startling. That there are a disproportionate amount of African American males and females, but one of the topics today is looking at the males have been indeed overweight, and it's a problem that can be solved. And one of the aims is to try to educate our youth that they can indeed do something about this with diet and exercise.
In other words, this is almost what you might consider a national issue.
It is.
And it's almost a national security kind of issue, because if you've got that many folks that are incapacitated in a real sense, and that I would imagine that this has a tremendous impact upon the very, very budget of the United States.
Yes.
Would you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. On the federal level, as well as in the state of Tennessee, it's an estimate by 2013 we will be spending $2.8 billion within this state alone related to overweight and obesity issues, symptoms related to high blood pressure, hypertension. And these are issues I think that our President Obama is trying to do a national call for us to try to improve in preventive care when you're thinking in terms of the national health care system.
Okay, and of course, let us take this first commercial break, Dr. Sanford, and then we'll get back. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.